worry about nothing, no, 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 no.
What's good, y'all? It's your boy Bright here, the R&B Kid. Now back again with another episode of On the Bright Side TV. Welcome back. As you can see by the title, this is episode 20 of The Drop. Welcome back, y'all. For those of y'all who are new to my channel, The Drop is the series I do on my channel where I pretty much do a mukbang for y'all while I do a pretty long video talking about my thoughts on current events and stuff that happened in the world recently, as well as like recent drops in TV shows, movies, music, and all that. So let's get into it. I have a lot to cover for this video, so let's get into it. For today's meal, I have the theme is leftovers for today. The theme is leftovers. I had a really fun weekend. I met with a lot of friends this weekend, but for last Sunday night, I met with some of my best friends from high school. I went to a restaurant, and I have leftovers from that restaurant that I wanted to bust down for this video. I got like pretty much like kind of like a nachos, but they use tater tots and like shredded cheese instead of like nacho cheese sauce with chorizo in it. So that's what I got here. Really good, some sour cream in it too. Yeah, so pretty much tater tots, chorizo, nacho cheese, all types of stuff in there. And then for this one, this shit was busted when I went to a restaurant, y'all. This was good. It's a shrimp and chorizo risotto with like a tomato base. Oh my god, it's so good. This was so I'm ready to go in. I'm hungry as hell. So let's go in. Alright, so let me pull up my list of topics for today's episode of The Drop. I have so much to cover, so let's get through it. First up, I want to give love to Haiti, man. I feel like this really made me sad how I feel like the news about Haiti's recent earthquake, has just kind of come and go in the media. So I want to send love to Haiti and all of my, Haitian friends out there. Sending love and light to you guys and your families and your friends, in Haiti. It's such a shame and it's so sad to see Haiti being a constant place in the world where, because of where it is in the world, it's constantly dealing with these natural disasters, and it's so sad because of the really poor infrastructure that country's already dealing with just politics, money, all types of stuff. Like, so it's just so sad to see them be hit by another earthquake like they were recently. But it also makes me really sad to feel like the world is kind of cared for like that week it happened, and then like everyone kind of moved on. But it's like, nah, Haiti's still struggling. Like, they've been struggling since 2010, and they're still struggling now with this new earthquake. So please send love and light to Haiti. Find whatever ways you can to donate. So I just wanted to send some love to Haiti and make y'all aware about that in case y'all forgot. And also, speaking about Haiti, can we talk about the recent drama at the border, at the border with like the border patrol and all that? Like, I don't really know what's going on, to be honest. I've not really done that much research, but just seeing some of the photos and hearing about what's going on, I'm just like, damn, like, I know somebody, and I don't know if it's like some like White House representative or somebody was talking about, the whips aren't actually whips they like used to like restrain the horses or something like that. But it's like, it don't matter what like it looks like from the photos. You could clearly see like these like white border patrol men like literally whipping these Haitian migrants like at the border, and it's like, it's 2021, not 1821. Like, what are we doing? But then again, like, it just opens your eyes to the fact that no matter how much of a modern society we think we're in, racism and all types of oppression and genocide are still going on at unbelievable, unsurmountable rates still to this day. And we have to be aware of that. We have to do what we can in our own lives to just do what we can to bring awareness to it and to combat it. So that's why I'm talking about it on my channel. But yeah, man, so sending love and light to just the nation of Haiti and to all the migrants at the border who are just trying to find a better life, and America, just getting into its bag and being America about everything, as we always are. So really sad, man. But I just wanted to kind of bring, shine some light on that. So that's my thoughts on Haiti and everything that's going at the border. Now I want to give some love also to the king himself, Michael K. Williams. I want to send a rest in peace, rest in power, just rest in eternal peace to Michael K. Williams. Literally one of my favorite actors. I actually post about it on my social media. And when I post about someone passing on my social media, it's really deep for me because I don't post on my social media about death a lot. But Michael K. Williams really meant a lot to me. He was, to me, one of the actors that you don't always like think about in the front of your mind, but whenever you saw him on screen, especially in The Wire, Lovecraft Country, him on When They See Us, and some of the other things he's done, like, he's literally always been one of my favorite actors to this day. And his untimely passing from his drug overdose was so sad to hear about. It broke my heart early this month. For it to have been something that could have been avoided, it just makes it hurt even more. So I want to send, my condolences to Michael Williams, like, best friends, his family, his children, those who loved him and knew him. I never met him. I never knew him, but he literally was one of my favorite actors. As someone who's very passionate about, you know, just acting and film and TV and just, you know, entertainment and media, he to me was a giant with his talent, and I just really am sad that the world really lost him, because I feel like he had so much left to give to the world. So when I heard about his passing, I literally was like, I was stunted. I literally was like, I like, my heart skipped a beat. I was like, oh my god, like Michael Williams is literally one of the last people I thought I would have heard would have passed away in 2021. But you never know what life holds for all of us. You never know what God's plan is, and you never know, you never know what tomorrow holds. So that's why we all gotta appreciate life while we have the time on this earth to live it. And I think Michael Williams' death is another reminder of that. He was someone that was so full of life, so vibrant, so loved, so talented. So, you know, he was engaged with so many people. Like, he really touched so many people personally, and he was someone that just always found a way to just be around and around the way. Even though he was like an actor, celebrity, like he always felt like your cousin from around the way to people that he interacted with. And he was such a beloved person by so many people in the industry and outside the film industry and TV industry. So Michael Williams, thank you for the life that you lived. Thank you for your talent. Thank you for what you gave the world. Enough can't be said about his talent, about what he gave to the world with his roles and with his heart and with his energy, with his spirit. And it's just another reminder for us to really check in on each other, because I think because of his cause of death, it was obvious that he was dealing with demons. Like we all are, honestly. But his death was just another harsh reminder to check in on your people, see how people are doing, see where their mental's at, because you never know what people are going through behind closed doors. And especially for someone like him, who had to literally, he had so many heavy roles throughout his life. I know that was not easy to do scene after scene, take after take, project after project, where you're dealing with these heavy characters and their baggage and their burdens, and that kind of transferring onto you as the vessel for these roles. Like, I know that has to, I know that weighed heavily on him. So it was just sad to see him go the way he went. But Michael, you are so loved. You are so loved. You don't even know. And yeah, I'm just so sad about all the work that I feel like we will never get to see from him in the future, obviously. But I am so thankful for what he did give to us, and I'm so grateful for the people that I know he has and will continue to inspire for generations. So Michael Kelly Williams, we love you. Rest in peace, rest in power, and thank you for everything you gave to us. Thank you for everything. We love you. Thank you. All right, now let's get into some entertainment news. Let me get into some award shows. Let's get into the VMAs first. So I'm talking about the VMAs real quick. Oh, this feels good. God damn. Teddy has to hit him. So the VMAs went down a few weeks ago in New York, in Brooklyn. It was a really whack show. I watched the whole thing. The VMAs were really whack, besides the black talent, which is so funny but not surprising at all to me. You know what I'm saying? This is good. Yeah, man. Besides the black artists, the show to me was just a wash. It was very boring. Well, let's talk about the black artists first. First up, let's talk about Doja Cat. Doja Cat hosted, and I think she could have done a little bit better as a host in terms of being a little bit more, I don't want to say prepared, but just being a little bit more engaging during her transitions. I feel like her transitions were very alright, we here, we at the VMAs, what's up, y'all? Alright, I'm Doja, how y'all doing? Alright, next artist. And it's Doja's still a vibe, so I was still enjoying her presence, but it's I wish she was more intentional about her hosting duties. But at the same time, I can't be too mad at her, because she was hosting, presenting and performing. She was doing a lot that night, so it's all good. But yeah, but I loved her outfits, the chair hat, the one where she looked like a centipede or a worm, a whole vibe. And yeah, I loved her presence throughout the show. And her performance to me was really interesting. When I first saw it, I was kind of annoyed, because I really didn't want her to perform Ben Like This, because even though it's a great track off of Planet Her, it's not a single, and it probably will never be a single. It's an album gem, so I'm glad she kind of gave it some promo. But at the same time, because Doja has so many tracks that are going crazy right now off of her album that actually singles, or if they're not singles, they're actually going crazy on the charts, Need to Know, Ain't Shit, Woman, and Get Into It, Yeah. Those 4 tracks are going crazy on the charts right now, so I was hoping she would have performed one of those tracks to give more push to them, especially Need to Know, because Need to Know is going crazy right now on the charts. It's about to end, it's hopefully going to enter the top 10 soon, so I really hope she would have performed Need to Know. And I feel like the vibe would have fit for the night too. Getting to Yo would have been cool as well, but we didn't need that. Woman would have been cool, but we didn't need that. Ain't Shit would have been cool, but we didn't need that. But I really feel like Need to Know should have been performed, but it's all good. But she performed a bit like this, you know, flying up in the sky, like, you know, in this like circular lighting thing that was just amazing. It was a really cool thing to watch. But for me, I think when I first saw it, I was like, I didn't feel like it really fit the vibe of the night. But looking back, you know, after time having passed, I appreciated what she did with that performance, and obviously it was a great performance. Doja is just a really different type of artist, and she's always leveling up her you know, her game all the time. So I definitely appreciated what it was. I just kind of wish she gave love to an actual track that's really going crazy by the fan standards right now. Because then she went into You Right, which is also a track that's doing well in the charts, but it's not really going crazy like the way other tracks are on the album. So she performed 2 tracks that are not really like the most loved in terms of like their success right now, but they're still great tracks. I love You Right. So, but then she performed You Right on the ground with like some dancers, like in this abstract, choreographed, you know, like, you know, modern contemporary choreographed like vibe that was amazing. I love the choreography. I loved, like, you could tell she was like emotionally in it. I really did love the You Right performance as well. I really did love both. I just kind of wish, like I said, she chose Need to Know, but she still did a great job. Shout out to Doja Cat. I liked her performance a lot, even though at first it threw me off in terms of like the setting, you know. And look at her copying Pink Swag, flying up in the air. Yeah, so Doja performed, and then we also have Normani, who performed Wild Side without Cardi B. And I liked the aesthetic of the performance. I love the outfits, the staging, all that. But I think like everybody else, what really threw the performance off was Normani's mic. I don't know. To me, I don't think the mic was on. I don't mind a lip sync, but if you're gonna lip sync, like, it needs to be fire and it needs to look popping. And I feel like for some reason, like, Normani's audio sounded really weird. Like, it sounded, I don't know, it just sounded weird, so it kind of threw off the vibe of the performance. With the audio sounding kind of weird. But like, you know, in terms of the, you know, choreography, outfits, like her presence, it felt good. So I think she did a good job in that sense. I just want her to get it together with her team as to how she wants to do her audio, because I would have rather like Normani just like had like, you know, a Britney Spears headset and like fully committed to lip sync and just like really gave it, instead of like, I feel like she kind of looked like she was like kind of like halfway in it, but not really all the way in it the way I wanted her to. Like, it kind of seemed like too perfect and too choreographed, and I was waiting for Normani to just like, you know, like let loose and just like get into performance like the way Doja did and the way Chloe did. Like, Normani's was a little bit too safe and too like, you know, too choreographed. But then again, that's like Normani's lane, but I'm waiting for her to kind of like do something different a little bit. So to me, the Wild Side performance was cool. It wasn't like, it wasn't crazy, but it was cool. And I'm glad she got a slot because she definitely killed it. I'm just waiting for her to, you know, get the audio together in terms of what she wants to do with lip syncing or not. And I want her to really start letting loose with how she attacks the stage. Like, do something different instead of just hitting your marks and, you know, being cute and that's it. You know what I'm saying? So, and then the little surprise at the end with Teyana Taylor was, well, to me, I was so confused at first. I was like, well, who is this person? At first, I didn't realize it was Teyana Taylor, but then when I realized it was her, I was like, oh shit. So that was cool. I didn't feel like it was necessary, but it was a cute moment. I love the, you know, the homage to Janet Jackson. You know, would you mind? I appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Janet, Queen. So that was cool. And then Chloe Bailey performed Have Mercy. It was definitely a moment. It was her debut solo performance as an artist. Definitely a moment. You know, it was given like Halloween, you know, terror mixed with like twerking night. Like, I don't know what Chloe was trying to go for with the performance, but at the same time, even though the staging and the concept was a little bit confusing, she was in her zone. She was in her element. She killed it. You know, her conviction was dope. Her choreography was dope. Like, yeah, everything kind of came together. A lot of people think she was doing too much, and I get it. But I think, like, I'm happy for Chloe to kind of just bust out and, like, I feel like, you know, just kind of go the way she's been wanting to go there for a minute. So I'm glad she did her thing. And at the end of the day, there's not a lot of artists that really go in there the way she's going there with her sexuality, with like her fierce energy on stage. So I'm not mad that she's, you know, she's going hard like that. So I'm not mad at it. Shout out Chloe. I thought it was an amazing performance, and she was in it. And it was good to see her sister present her and like cheer her on from you know, from the audience. That was so great to see. Shout out to Halle too. I love both of them, man. Queens. So Halle, Chloe, you did a great job with Have Mercy. And I'm looking forward to seeing what happened with this new, you know, debut album era. I'm looking forward to seeing everything. So shout out to Chloe. And then we had Lil Nas X come out and perform Industry Baby with Jack Harlow and a little bit of Call Me By Your Name. Man, my boy Lil Nas X was all over the place, but in a good way. He was hype as hell. Almost forgot his marks were taking off his marching band outfit at first. That was funny as hell, but then he got it together. Shout out to like one of his like somebody on the team who helped him out. And then he, you know, Jack Harlow came out and it's like all black leather ensemble. Was interesting. But yeah, that chemistry on stage was dope. That performance was great. I loved how the stage looked. I loved the energy. It was great. The audio sounded dope. And then Lil Nas X got a little naked, and then he got into this, you know, he replicated the shower scene from the Industry Baby video, like literally at the VMAs, and I was like, oh, Lil Nas X he's going there. Shout out to him. So he ain't afraid of y'all. I know Boozy was mad. I know Boozy got a heart attack during that shit. Boozy, you'll be alright. You'll be alright. And the kids will be alright too. They'll be alright. So Lil Nas X was doing his thing, naked as hell on stage with all those dancers performing Call Me By Your Name to end off the performance, and it was cool. I'm proud of Lil Nas X for just out here doing his thing, staying consistent with performances. Shout out to him, he did his thing, I loved it. And then, yeah, I think that's all we have for the black talent. So that was pretty much those. They were the highlights of the show, to be honest. We had other people like, you know, Ed Sheeran, he was cool. Oh yeah, we also had Alicia Keys and Sway Lee too. They were dope. They performed like on rooftop somewhere in New York. They performed their new song La La, and then Alicia Keys performed New York Empire State of Mind, which was cool. They were good. Ed Sheeran was there. Olivia Rodrigo performed Good For You, and that was cool. That was like one of her first like major, I think besides the Brit Awards, I think it was one of her first like major award show performances, and it was cool. I love Olivia. I love her album. To me, she definitely still has, you know, room to grow with her performance capability in terms of the vocals, all that, but she's still young, she's still new, so she'll get it together. But it was cool for what it was, but it wasn't crazy. But I love that song as does everybody else, so it was cool to see her perform it on an award show. Casey Musgraves performed Star-Crossed. I wish she chose a different song, like either Breadwinner or Justified, but it was still cool for what it was. But she sounded great. But Casey Musgraves, that song wasn't the right vibe for the night, you know what I'm saying? But I still love the song Star-Crossed, but I wish she chose Justified or Breadwinner. I feel like it would have been way better for the VMAs. But it's all good. Shout out Casey Musgraves. Who else performed? 21 Pilots performed Saturday. That was whatever. Mulatto had like these like 3 little performances in between the show at different points, and they were all random as hell, but she still did a good job. Shout out to Mulatto. Or sorry, Lotto now. She did her thing. Shawn Mendes and Camila Cabello performed their new songs that are flopping, and the performances were cool. Anita performed. Who else? Ozuna performed La Fonca. That was cool. We had a Foo Fighters, you know, medley. And then one of my favorite parts of the night, I almost forgot about Busta Rhymes. The Busta Rhymes, what should have been low-key the Video Vanguard like award to Busta Rhymes. He pretty much did like a whole like medley of like for himself. Like, and I loved it. He did like a lot of his biggest hits. You know, put your hands on I Can See, Annie Up, you know, scenario, Touch It, Look At Me Now, Past the Glacier. Like, he performed mad of his hits that he was a part of, and it was amazing. Those white kids not ready for Busta Rhymes. They were not ready for what they were about to receive, but I loved it. Just seeing Busta at his age, like, and you know, after all the health issues he's had, like being able to go up on that stage and kill it, perform all these hits, like crazy breath control, energy, charisma, stage presence with, you know, with what's his oh yes, with Split Star, his hype man for like, you know, years now. That was so amazing to see, like him and Split Star just doing their thing after all these years. It was amazing. I loved it. Shout out to hip hop being a part of the VMAs this year. And Busta Rhymes definitely held the flag high for hip hop. And man, he did his thing. I'm so proud of Busta Rhymes. I'm loving all this new love for Busta too, especially with Busta Rhymes' music being in the Savage Fenty Volume 3 show. Like, I love that too. Like, shout out to Busta getting all this love. I don't know why, you know, where it's coming from, but I'm loving it for Busta, because Busta gave us hits for years. So I'm so happy for him getting all this new love. So he definitely was one of the best parts of VMAs for sure. Hands down, he killed that shit. So yeah, man, that was the VMAs. So the Emmys happened, I think, like last weekend. Emmys so white. To be honest, I wasn't that surprised that the Emmys ended up giving all the acting awards, the main ones, to, you know, to white actors. I wasn't that surprised. I was hoping that Billy Porter or MJ Rodriguez could have pulled through, or Michael K. Williams could have pulled through for his category, that he was kind of tipped to win a little bit. But Tobias Menzies won that, which was not, you know, that wasn't surprising. There were a lot of black actors that really could have won stuff, but I wasn't that surprised that everything ended up being white. The only black award winners of the Primetime Emmy Awards, I think, was Michaela Cole, who looked gorgeous. She won for writing for a limited series for I May Destroy You, which I still need to watch. I've been hearing about it so much. I still need to watch that show. I'm excited to check it out at some point. Michaela Cole, so talented. I'm loving all this love for her recently. So shout out to her win, amazing. And then RuPaul won for Best Competition Program for RuPaul's Drag Race. And then the queen herself, Debbie Allen, got the Governor's Award for this year's Emmys, which I was so happy to see. Long overdue. And I think she was like the first black woman to have the award, I think, which is crazy. But then again, like, you know, whatever. But shout out to Debbie Allen. Sorry for her. Amazing. She has been a part of so many amazing things, you know, whether it's Fame, you know, her helping out with A Different World, her you know, her dance academy, and, you know, the Hot Chocolate Nutcracker, and so many things that Debbie Allen's been a part of, choreographing things like, you know, TV, movies. She's been a part of so many things. So she's a legend, icon, beautiful, so inspirational to so many people. She is, yeah, she's everything. So I'm so happy that she got love from the Emmys. Her speech was amazing, inspiring the kids to, you know, just go out there, and now it's your turn. Go out there and achieve your dreams and do what you gotta do. You know, we came here, we do what we have to do for y'all. Now y'all take the baton and y'all run with it. And I love that speech. It was amazing. She looked amazing too in that red outfit. I loved it. So Debbie Allen, congrats to you. You're so deserving. You are a queen. You are loved. You are amazing. You are everything. Shout out to you. Amazing. But yeah, man. I don't think I have any other highlights from the Emmys. I'm not gonna go through all the awards. You can Google them yourself. But yeah, I was really looking forward to seeing hopefully Michael Williams take his award, but he didn't. Anthony Anderson and Tracee Ellis Ross have been snubbed for like the millionth time for their categories of, like, you know, leading actor and actress in a comedy series. And I wasn't surprised they lost this year, but it's like, damn, are Anthony Anderson and Tracee Ellis Ross ever gonna win this Emmy? Like, Blackish is about to be done, so it's like, yo. So yeah. It was good to see Kate Winslet take her award, even though I thought that was gonna go to the girl from Queen's Gambit, Anya Taylor-Joy. I thought it was gonna go to her, but Kate Winslet took that, so that was an interesting surprise. And pretty much the big winners of the night were, you know, Hacks, Ted Lasso, The Crown, Usual Suspects. Happy for all shows. I'm not really tapped into any of those shows, to be honest, so I can't tell you whether or not I feel like they were deserved, but I know they were front runners in a lot of the categories, so I'm not surprised they won a lot of categories. So yeah, shout out to Ted Lasso, Hacks, and The Crown. Yeah, Mayor of Easttown won like 3 acting awards. That was major as well. The Queen's Gambit won a few awards as well. Yeah, and that guy who won for Queen's Gambit, Scott Frank, and him giving that long ass speech, that was annoying. And then it was amazing to see Michaela Cole come up right after him and give like a minute long speech that was so short but so sweet and impactful. Amazing. And so representative of like, a lot of things. Alright, y'all, now I want to talk about Nicki Minaj and all of her drama real quick. So, you know, this whole COVID drama, I just want to talk about it because I'm really disappointed in Nicki Minaj for what I feel is like a clear attempt to drum up, you know, buzz and drama around something else that's not her husband, to kind of take, you know, the light away from that. That's my opinion. That's my theory. Because Nicki Minaj, you are grown. You know better to be out here promoting, you know, your unwillingness to get vaccinated on the fact that your cousin's friend in Trinidad got his balls swollen because he had the vaccine, as if like it's not clear as yet that he probably had an STD from cheating on his wife, who called off the wedding apparently. Like, come on, bro. That story was stupid, and the fact that it was causing all this drama for like a whole week is like, bro, come on. There's so much shit going on in the world, and for Nicki Minaj to be spreading that type of misinformation to her fans is so disappointing at her big grown age. Like, she's almost hitting 40. Like, Nicki Minaj, do better, bro. Come on. Like, you know better. If you feel that way, keep that shit to yourself. Don't tell that shit to your fans and have them thinking, oh, maybe I shouldn't get the vaccine now because, you know, Nicki Minaj said. Like, no. Like, we need people to get vaccinated. For this pandemic to go away, we need people to get vaccinated. And the vaccine's not gonna hurt you. I took that shit in like January, February. I'm fine, you know. And it's okay to be scared and, like, you know, doubtful or not want to, you know, if you have a reason, it's okay. But don't make it about something as stupid as that. If you don't want to get vaccine, just say you don't want to get vaccine. Don't make it about, oh, well, you know, I heard this person died. I heard this person balls up. I heard my cousin, friend, neighbor, mama, sister said, like, no, I'm tired of this shit in our community. Like, we need to stop just listening to anything anybody got to say about the vaccine. Like, do your research. And Nicki Minaj, talking about, I need to do my research. Nicki Minaj, you've had almost 2 years at this point to do your research on COVID. COVID is about to be 2 years old now. You've had plenty of time to do your research. So Nicki, shut up. And now let's go into her husband's case with Jennifer Hough, or Hough. I stand with Jennifer Hough. I'm so sorry for her that she's had to deal with Nicki Minaj's crazy ass fans. As she's been trying to tell her story about Nicki Minaj's husband raping her and assaulting her back in '94. And the fact that Jennifer Hough's story has never changed, she stayed consistent, and she even felt the need to come up to the real to tell her story because of how much she's been attacked by her Nicki Minaj's fans, and after being, attempted to be bribed by Nicki Minaj and her husband to, to have her keep silent about this whole situation, which is like completely disappointing. I'm a fan of Nicki Minaj, but I'm extremely disappointed in her right now. This is a really sad point in her career where she's spreading crazy misinformation about this pandemic, and then on top of that, you married a rapist knowingly, and even though it had nothing to do with you, you're using your money and your fame and your clout to silence, the victim because nobody knows her. And it's like, that's wrong. It's like, I don't care how rich you are, I don't care how beautiful, I don't care how famous you are, I don't care about your status. If you are married or affiliated with someone that raped somebody, right is right and wrong is wrong. If Nicki Minaj really loved that man, then that's her business. But for you to be using your money and your fame and your clout to silence Jennifer and to tell her to, I'll fly you to LA and we could talk about this, and here's some money to keep quiet and all that stuff. It's like, that's ridiculous. Like, Nicki, you know what you were doing when you tried to marry this man. Everyone and your mama told you not to do it, but you said, no, I love him and he's my man. So it is what it is. That's your business. But let it be a business, and don't come out here trying to silence this woman that was clearly assaulted by your husband. That shit is sad. Like, let the courts handle it, but don't try to use your money, your clout to control things. Like, that shit is really sad and real whack. So Nicki Minaj, I'm so disappointed in you. I don't know how to feel about you right now. I'm very disappointed as a fan. And there's someone that knows right from wrong. Like, I don't know what to say for you. Like, you have to do better. You're a grown-ass woman and you have a whole child now. Like, you should be setting an example for your child, that, listen, your father did all the, like, I'm gonna set an example that, like, I'm gonna let things play the way they're gonna play out. Like, don't use your money and your fame to try and alter the situation to your benefit, knowing damn well that man was guilty of what he did. If you love him, that's your business, but don't, so that shit was whack. So Nicki, get it all the way together, and you gotta figure your shit out. So that's all I gotta say for you. Nicki Minaj, figure your shit out. And speaking of cases, T.I. and Tiny's sexual assault case was recently dropped, and not because of a lack of evidence, but really because of a statute of limitations with the time. I don't know if it was Sabrina or somebody that was accusing them. I think the time was too long, or for some reason they couldn't actually take up the case. For some reason, I forgot what it was, but you can look it up. But for some reason, there was either statute of limitations or they couldn't take up the case, so the case is gone. They dropped it, but it's sad because like I said, it wasn't dropped because T.I. and Tiny were found to be innocent. So there's it's a little wrench in the case, and it's a little wrench in the story. A lot of people might be like, oh, word, see, y'all were tripping on T.I. and Tiny, like they innocent, but it's like, nah, that's not really the case, bro. So, and then a lot of people are gonna be like, they got off, through a technicality. So a lot of people are on either side, and to me, I'm disappointed because I really wanted that case to have really been figured out, because I want T.I. and Tiny to be held accountable for stuff they've done if they've done all that. But if they haven't done it, I wanted it to be actually, tried in court, and I wanted them to be found innocent through a real trial, and not just because, like, they had, off of a technicality. But then again, that's our criminal justice system, so I'm not surprised. So that was T.I. and Tiny, y'all. Cases drop, and we'll see what happens. But as of right now, that's all we heard from that case. So yeah, that's it. Now let me go into some movies and shows I'm watching. First up, let's talk about Respect, the Aretha Franklin biopic with Jennifer Hudson. I watched it recently, and I liked it. I think it was pretty good. But I always tell people, I think what I really wish about the movie, I really wish they kind of combined the execution of the miniseries that was on National Geographic with Cynthia Erivo. I like how that miniseries was executed more, because I think Aretha Franklin's life was so vast and so long, and she did so much that I feel like you couldn't fit everything into a movie. So I feel like a miniseries is more appropriate for Aretha Franklin. But at the end of the day, it's good that she got a movie. But I kind of like how the miniseries, I like how they have more time to kind of flesh things out. But I feel like Jennifer was a better fit for the role than Cynthia Erivo. So I kind of wish they combined, like, either I wish they did, like, yeah, I wish like they did a miniseries, but they put Jennifer in it instead of Cynthia Erivo. That would have been like perfect to me, you know what I'm saying? But the movie was still good. You know, Jennifer had to sound great, even though it wasn't Aretha's voice. Like Jennifer still did a great job, so it felt real in a way. The acting was pretty good throughout. Marlon Wayans did his thing as Ted White. He really got in his bag with a different type of role, so he was great. Shout out to Marlon, he did a great job. The guy who played Jerry Wexler, he was great too. Her sisters were amazing. And shout out to Forrest Whitaker as her dad. He did a great job as well. Like, everyone really did a good job in the movie. I just felt like it felt really like, even though it was like 2 hours plus, like it felt like it didn't cover enough of her life. Like, it pretty much ended by the time she recorded her Amazing Grace album in like the early 70s. So they didn't really go through like, her life in like the 80s and 90s and up until now. They kind of just like stopped at like the early 70s and that was it. So it kind of felt like a half movie of her life, but it still was a great movie for what it was. And I didn't really know that Aretha Franklin dealt with alcoholism and stuff like that, so that was really cool to know that. I had no idea I know she dealt with like, being abused, sexually abused when she was younger. I know she dealt with that and a lot of, the grief for dealing with the death of her mother. So I know she dealt with all that stuff, but I never know she dealt with alcoholism. So that was a cool thing to kind of find out through the movie. And the fact that people were trying to help her through that as well. So that was cool to know. But Respect was cool. I don't know if it'll get that many Oscars or Oscar nominations. I think Jennifer has a good chance of being nominated, and she would deserve to be, in my opinion. But I don't think she's gonna win. And I don't know if anybody else would get in for acting. I could definitely see a costume design nomination, maybe like a score, maybe not score, maybe like an original song nomination, maybe something like that. I could see it happening. But yeah, it was cool. Let me know what y'all think about Respect. I thought it was pretty good. I don't know if things could have been, I don't know if the writing could have been better or anything like that, but I think it was pretty good for what they gave. I just wish they, like I said, gave us more of her life after that Amazing Grace album, but it was cool. Let's talk about Candyman. Candyman was interesting. It was definitely interesting, I'll say that. To me, I really loved Candyman's attempt at, addressing, gentrification, modern day racism, and just like generational storytelling, generational trauma. I loved how they attempted to really attack those themes. I think for the most part they did a good job, but I don't think they fully wrapped things up the way they really should have. I've not seen the first Candyman movie, so maybe that's why I didn't feel that great about this film. I thought it was pretty cool in terms of like the execution of like the imagery. I liked the way Nia DaCosta directed the movie. I liked her direction. I liked her vision. I just think, to me, that the writing was really what let down that movie. I feel like it didn't really come together in terms of what the story was trying to tell it. I don't really feel like the story came together. It felt really like all over the place. I watched it in the theaters with a friend, and it felt really all over the place story-wise. So I think, to me, even though I loved it visually, I loved the scenes where like Candyman was like killing people, and I liked the movie visually, and I liked a lot of the acting, but I feel like, to me, the story just didn't come together for me. But yeah, so to me the story was lacking, but I still think it was still an entertaining watch. For me, I was just I left the movie being like still feeling kind of confused about some aspects of the story in terms of like the beginning till like now. And how I feel like Anthony's transformation from like the beginning of the movie until the end was really really fast. I don't feel like they really took time to really break down certain things, like his girlfriend's relationship with her father. Like, they didn't really break that down that much. And I just feel like they really left a lot of things really open and loose for interpretation, which is cool, but also not that cool for a movie and a concept that's so intriguing. So I kind of wish they took more an effort to like really solidify aspects of the story, even though like visually it was cool to watch. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I felt about Candyman. Let me know if y'all loved Candyman, if y'all hated it, if y'all thought it was okay. Let me know what y'all think about it. I don't know if it's gonna get any Oscar nominations like that. I don't see any Oscar nominations happening, but it was still a cool film, and I'm glad to see, a film being directed by a black woman being #1 at the box office, which is I think that's like the first time that happened, which is an amazing historical feat. So shout out to Nia DaCosta for that. And yeah, man, so a great moment for black cinema. But to me, I was just a little bit disappointed by the story, but it was still a cool visual spectacle, you know what I'm saying? So, and shout out to Yaya, and shout out to Tiana Paris. I love both of them, so shout out to them for getting these big looks in this movie. I was very happy for them. Shout out to them. And shout out to, what's his name, Tony Todd from the original Candyman. He was amazing too, loved him. Now let me get into shows I'm watching real quick. Let me see. So as usual, I'm still watching The Challenge. One of my favorite shows of all time. I love that show. Man, Fessy and Josh's drama that now had Fessy go home. Oh God, that shit was sad as hell to watch. I'm just glad Esther didn't have to go home, because Esther, you know, rapping for the Nigerian people, you know, Esther rapping for the Nigerians, so I'm glad she didn't have to go home. But I feel so bad for Fessy and Josh. Like, that shit was so sad. Like, one night argument and now your friend gotta go home. That shit was really sad to watch. So that drama's crazy. So yeah, I'm watching The Challenge as usual. Let's see. I'm in the middle of Sex Education. I actually have one episode left. So I'm watching Sex Education right now on Netflix. I love that show. This season has been so good. These students are out here wilding. And that headmaster lady, she's annoying as hell. Like, she needs to go. But then again, I also feel bad for her because of what she's going through in her personal life, so I get it. But at the same time, she's doing too much. And then the episode with Eric going to Nigeria, I love that episode. That was amazing to just see my people in, you know, a big Netflix show like that. That was just amazing. I love seeing my culture being represented so well in Sex Education. I loved it. So that was great to see. What else? Freaking Maeve and what's his name, the main character, they gotta get their shit together, and they finally did in episode 7, which I just watched recently. So yeah, it was kind of annoying seeing them kind of like go through like, oh, I love somebody else but I really want you. Like, that was annoying to see, but obviously it was good for the show. But I'm glad they finally got it together with their drama. Oh my God, Maeve and Otis gotta get it together, man. Yeah, so Sex Education, I've been watching, obviously I'm about to finish that. I love that show. What else have I been watching lately? I gotta get into a bunch of shows. I gotta get into The White People. I gotta get into the new season of Blood and Water. I gotta get into Squid Game and Clickbait. I've been hearing about those shows, so I'm gonna try and get into those when I have time. But these days, my time is, I don't have that much time these days. What else am I watching that I could share with y'all? A Million Little Things. I just saw the new season of A Million Little Things. I love that show. My favorites. Man, Gary, you tripping? This man could possibly die. Like, yo, and then he did it with the girl's father too. Oh my God, like, Gary, you tripping, bro. Gary tripping. So yeah, I'm watching Queen Sugar as well. Man, the way they did Prosper, the way that white cop did Prosper, you gonna make that black man fall to the ground like that? An elderly black man? Man, that was sad to watch. Man, all the drama with Nova and Prosper's daughter. And then Micah going through stuff. But everyone's going through a lot of stuff on Queen Sugar, man. And now all vibe, out helping this lady and her son and not telling Hollywood. Like, there's so much going on. And then Ralph Angel and Dollar dealing with the pregnancy, and Ralph Angel waiting for the money from the state. Like, oh my God, there's so much going on Queen Sugar. So I look forward to watching that every Tuesday. I just finished Raising Kanan, Power Book 3, Raising Kanan, this past Sunday. Oh my God, what a good season finale. I love that show. Like I told you before, y'all guys stop sleeping on that show. That show was good, so stop sleeping on it. I love Power Book 3, Raising Kanan. Y'all guys stop sleeping on that show. That show's amazing. Man, the drama. The way that shit ended was pretty cool, so shout out to everybody in that show. That was great. What else am I watching? I'm gonna try and start BMF soon, and All Kind of People. Shout out to 50 Cent. 50 Cent going crazy in the TV world. Shout out to 50 Cent. This fool good as hell. I think that's most of what I'm watching for the most part. I might miss some things, but that's pretty much what I'm watching these days. So let me know what y'all watching, what y'all loving. Let me know if y'all have any recommendations for me. Let me know down below. Alright, y'all, but now let's get into music. Alright, y'all ready? Let's go.
I came to vibe, you came to function, just do that, baby. Don't worry about nothing, no, 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 no. I came to vibe, you came to function, just do that, baby. Don't worry about nothing, no, no, no. Relax just a little bit. You don't gotta worry, you can just